morning, everyone. It's Thursday morning. We are planning to have another day of hoof trimming. Hopefully today goes better than yesterday. This is our dry cow pen right here. Cows are all laying down, nice and comfortable in here. But yesterday morning, we had a cow in here that just dropped dead. And we don't know why. I looked on the cameras and she was standing just fine and she just dropped. And it's like probably about the third cow in a short while we've had problems with the dry cows. So our veterinarian, we've done all kinds of blood work and tests and autopsies and everything, and we can't figure out what the problem is, and we don't know what's going on. So yesterday morning we planned on hoof trimming all day, and all of a sudden we were sorting cows out of the dry cows. Steve was into the pre-fresh and he called me and said, we got a dead cow down here in the dry cows. So I'm like, oh, that's not good. So we came down, checked it out, looked at her rumination on the computer, and before she died, she was perfectly healthy. Her rumination collar tells us that. That's the collar around their neck that they're all wearing. So we decided, after talking to the veterinarian, to take her to Barron. That's the University of Wisconsin diagnostic lab, and they do a complete autopsy on the whole cow and a lot of testing and everything. And it's pretty expensive, but that just goes to show how much we care about our animals and the well-being of our animals. I mean, for a perfectly healthy cow just to die, I mean, it could be a heart attack or something, natural like that. But we want to make sure that it's nothing that we're doing. If it's natural causes, that's okay. We can't do anything about it. It's out of our control. But if it is something that we can control, we want to know what we can do to fix the problem. So I guess bottom line is, yesterday morning, it was 2 o'clock before I got back from Barron. So we didn't start hoof trim until 2 o'clock. So we're running way behind on schedule for hoof trimming on the week. And then last night at 2:30, this morning at 2:30, Jose called me and said the tractor wouldn't start, the scraping tractor wouldn't start, and we do have a skid steer to scrape with, so I told him just to go ahead and use a skid steer. So this morning I got to look at the scraping tractor and see why it won't start. Hopefully it's something simple, just a loose connection or something, and then we got to get the hoof trimming again. So we got to get this done before field work, and then we're really busy in the fields, and it's just nice to get something out of the way before the real busy season starts. And that trimming is a pretty big, takes a lot of time to go through the whole herd like that, and it's just one of them jobs that's nice to get out of the way. So let's go check that tractor out and see what's going on with it. I brought the battery charger down, and we got jumper cables here in the service truck if we need them to get it started. So here's the tractor. See what's going on. See, this is our scraping tractor. It looks like this for a reason, because all it does is scraping there. The tractors, we used to use a skid steer. Actually, the key's on. That ain't gonna help anything right now, but I'm sure that's not the original reason it wouldn't start. So we use a scraping tractor instead of a skid steer to scrape in there, because it uses about half the amount of fuel that a skid steer would use, and on top of that, they're a lot cheaper to buy. So the cost on this tractor is about half of what a skid steer is. On this tractor, we've got about 5,000 hours already in the past. I think it'll be 3 years old this spring, so quite a few hours on it, and it just runs so much cheaper than a skid steer. That's probably the main reason for having it. So let's try to start it, see what's going on here. Yeah, there is it's like a loose connection, or probably it could be one of those. They've got like 3 safety switches on these. There's one for the seat, there's one for the clutch, there's one for the shifter. And then the cows like to come up to this tractor and rub their heads on it and lick on it and everything else. That's why we got the cage around it. So, I don't know. I'm not really a mechanic, but I try to figure things out. Looks like some wires here, rubbed a little bit. But I'm gonna have to get a light so I can see better. Look into this a little more. I'm gonna guess it's a safety switch, just because we've had problems with those in the past. Everything's, oh, there's a wire hanging. Oh. I'm gonna have to put the camera down because I'm gonna have everything all over manure. I'll let you know what I find with it. So I think it's a starter. I checked all the safety switches, and actually the main reason I think it's a starter is because it showed, I mean, the lights and everything work, and it showed it had 13 volts or whatever going to it, and it doesn't even try to crank. And I tried jumping it on the starter with 2 screwdrivers, and that didn't work. So I'm gonna call, when our dealer opens up, I'm gonna call and talk to the mechanic. If he thinks it's a starter, we'll probably try to get it switched here by ourselves this morning. Maybe Steve could do that while we're trimming. So I'll let you know what happens. About that problem is the starter on the tractor, and we trying to get the starter off so we can take it to town and get it rebuilt because the dealer doesn't have one. And we stripped a bolt. Actually, it's like a cap screw. Steve said you call them. Yep. Allen wrench goes in, and now we are fixing it, trying to get that last screw out. So we had to go home and get a swivel down to the shop, and we're going to try to get this thing done, get it off, and then get it down. So that's what we're working on.
This guy is correct, right? Or not?
Yes. So what we got, here's a starter, and there's a cap screw way back in there that takes an Allen wrench, and it's stripped. So we got an issue here. We're going to try to get it out. Right here's the other bolt. Looks just like this. The end of it. That fits in there good. That seems to fit better. Yeah, it's this one here.
You just put them back, or you go on to the same one?
It is just the metric. Yeah, 8mm. So this one actually goes down here.
So you did just switch?
I don't know. I'm not sure which one I had. Okay.
So was that wrong?
No, it wasn't. I don't think so.
You switched them, I'm pretty sure.
Well, possibly.
Yeah, you did.
Where's that other one at?
Doubled up.
No, I just put one up. Oh, right here. This is it. So here we got the starter off. It's really a cheap little looking little starter.
Looks like it belongs on a lawnmower.
Yeah. So we're gonna take it to Neilsville. There's a guy that rebuilds them, and he can test them. And I'm thinking this is our problem, so let you know what happens. So Steve just went to town, get that starter fixed, and I am finally gonna get hoof trimming. So I thought I was gonna start hoof trimming, but instead we've got a problem here with the cow having a calf. The the head is coming and no feet. So we need to get this fixed so the baby can come out. You getting anywhere? You get it? Let me pull this up for you. You got it?
Two.
Good. Okay, now just leave her.
Huh?
She's not open very much. I would leave her.
Yes, maybe. Yeah.
Leave her. Give her some time. Because here, it's not very big, right?
Yeah.
Only little.
Yes, close. No,
Yes,
no.
give her time.
Yeah, I will put in 50 cc oxytocin.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep. So is what was happening here? The head was coming on the calf, but the legs were not. So the calf will not come out like that, so you got to get it straightened out. So that's what we did. That's what Rodolfo just did. He got the legs up, so now she can have the calf. And if this would have been in the wild, the cow would be dead, because nobody would have been there to help the cow. So this is a big advantage. The cows, so the people taking care of the cows. We're hoping the calf is alive, but the cow is more important right now. She's not open enough to get the baby out, so we need to give her some time. Now that the feet are up, now that the feet are coming, like first, the feet are coming before the head. Now the cow will dilate and open up so there's room for it. So that's what we need to do, is wait, give her some time. And hopefully the baby will make it. So it's Thursday afternoon. We attempted to do some more hoof trimming, and then we got a phone call. Said that this case skid steer that we're scraping with right now, because we're fixing the starter on the tractor, the boom won't go up and down. So I'm gonna work on it. We're gonna see if we can't get things figured out here. There's two sensors. There's one sensor on the seat, and there's one for the lap bar that goes down, and I would guess it might be the seat sensor. So we got to figure out how to get to it. So I tested the circuit on the seat sensor, and it's good, or on the lap bar sensor, and that one's good. So there's a sensor back here, right here, and there's juice going through that circuit when the bar's down. There's juice on both wires. That means it's going through and going back, so it should be working. Now the seat sensor though, I don't even know how to get to it for sure. And this skid steer, it's got like, I don't know, 10,000 hours on it. And I think you gotta lift the cab, but you can't lift the cab with the boom down. So I gotta figure out how to get this boom up in the air. Well, I know how to do it, but I don't really want to do it. So I don't think it's a seat switch either, because I can push down on the seat switch and it beeps in the cab like this, so the switch must be working. So I tried calling the mechanic, Miller Brad, and the service guy ain't answering right now, so I'm going to try him again. And the guy just called me a few minutes ago and said our starter's done for the scraping tractor. So need to have somebody go to town and get that tractor back in here, because this old skid steer we normally just use to carry calves back and forth. In emergency we use it to scrape, and you can see why we don't like using it, because it's old and there's always something that happens with it. I wish the new ones weren't so expensive. think that's what I'm gonna do is go get the starter for the scraping tractor, and they're gonna have to scrape with the Bobcat for an hour or so until we get that going, and then we'll work on this after I get back and get the scraping tractor going. I think that's the best plan. Hate to leave this skid steer in here all night with them scraping anyhow. There's always something that happens to this thing. So that's what I'm gonna do. We'll talk to you after a while. Need to at least get that tractor back in there. If we don't get the skid steer fixed tonight, it's not the end of the world. We can work on that tomorrow or whatever. We can always use the Bobcat to haul the cabs back and forth, but we need the scraping tractor fixed. So I think if it's a starter, 15 minutes we can have her back together. So we'll see. So we got the scraping tractor fixed. Scraping with that now. And the skid steer, I actually got really lucky and got it fixed. I don't know how, honestly, but I had that cab up, and then I messed around with some sensors, and then I went and replaced some fuses, but the fuses didn't really appear to be blown. And then I checked it, and it was working, so that's good. And so anyhow, we will see you in the morning. We'll talk to you later. Tomorrow Jaren's going to be here. There's no school. He's going to be helping and filming, so we'll see you then.
You got turkeys by your house?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were on the road. Just now we went down to my house and we could have hit, we could probably hit what?
8 of them.
8 of them. I think we could have got them if we wouldn't have let
What
off.
time do they come out?
Well, they're out right now. And they usually go and they walk right up to my house and they go underneath that tree. It's got some berries on it. And they go up in the tree and they pluck them berries out.